everyone, I'm Silver. It is Wednesday, June 13th. I just wanted to say a quick hello to all new viewers and a great welcome back to all returning viewers. If you tuned in last time and decided to come back, I really do appreciate it. Anyway, how have you all been? I've been good. I've got a lot of things to talk to you guys about, so I should probably get started, alright? So, grab your drink of choice, your knitting and crafting, and away we go. Today I'm actually drinking another protein shake. It's been a good journey. Anyway, this time it's actually a chocolate shake. Let's see how we go, because I made this one myself, so we'll see how I do. Good balance. I did that one good. First one didn't come out so great, but this one, It's also been my form of caffeine too. I haven't been drinking a lot of coffee, if at all, over the past couple weeks, and just drinking the shakes. The protein powder does have a lot of caffeine in it, so just as a word of warning. Anyway, you didn't come by to hear about my crazy new little diet, right? You want to know a little bit more about what I've been working on, right? Alright, well, before we get to that, the more you know. So we actually had somebody join the Silver's Dreamland podcast group on Ravelry this week. She actually even introduced herself in the introductions thread that I opened up a long time ago. I actually almost forgot about it. Oops. Everyone, you make sure you come by and say a quick hello to Melinda, who is Feminist Flower on Ravelry. Welcome to the Dreamland, Melinda. That reminds me, if you would like your own shout out on air, please make sure you introduce yourself in the Introduce Yourself thread. I will, however, understand if you choose not to, though. Moving on to FOs. I did manage to finish a few things this week. The first one was actually a single hat that I am calling is going to be part of June's charity hats. The project page on Ravelry, I called a few grid barleys. This will get me 70 yards for a stash dash. Yay! The pattern I've been using is called Barley by Tin Can Knits. The yarn that I am currently using is a Bernat Softy Baby Solids and Marls in the baby pink colorway. I'm actually working on another hat in that same colorway right now. I am using a size US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle for the brim. And then a size US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter marbles needles. Both of these will be a 16-inch cable. I love the way it's knitting up, you guys. Right now, all of the projects for this particular item are going to be in a Ziploc bag to keep it nice and neat, so that way I don't have to worry about the kiddos getting sick from like allergies and things, because Mario hair is everywhere. Especially since now it's shedding season for him. So anyway, I digress. The next thing that I finished, actually next 5 things that I finished, were all part of the 2018 washcloth series that I've been doing. Like I said, I did make 5 of them this week. I am all now caught up with my goal of doing 1 washcloth per week. So yay! I wanted to make sure I finished that before I recorded this week, just mostly because I wanted the 300 yards for stash dash, but also because it was weighing on my mind and it was starting to stress me out a little bit. So anyway, the pattern I'm going to be using on all of these is Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Root Slate. I am going to be using many different colors of cotton that's been in my stash for years. Most of it is Lillian Cream that comes in those little mini skeins and hanks. Some of them I got large cones of all of them, so I may be on those colors for a while. 4 out of the 5 that I finished were in the Delft Blue colorway, which is a very bright blue. I love it. There was the last one that I finished. I did have almost enough for a full washcloth. I ended up having to use a little bit of leftover America colorway, so it kind of sort of went together. But the last one was some random color that I don't even remember. I think I already marked it as used up in my stash ages ago, and there was no ball band, so yeah, as you do. Anyway, I will always be using a size US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, 24-inch marble. circular needles for this project as well. It's all stays all in one bag. This I actually recently put in with all of the yarn scraps all together in one large tote bag. This is the bag that I did get from the Knit Girls 7th year Podiversary kit that they sent out. I absolutely love this bag. It is got plenty of room left. So yes, it's got plenty of room. I love it. I have a ho this week, you guys. I managed to finish one sock from the Rhapsody in Socks set that I am making for a lucky recipient for the holidays. I won't say who because I think they listen to the podcast. Anyway, the pattern I'm using on this one is the Toe Up Socks of the Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. The yarn that I'm using is Lola Did It, their everyday sock in the Bohemian Rhapsody colorway. I love it, I love it, I love it. I am using a size US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needles. I'm using both a 9-inch circular for the most of the sock, but also two 16-inch circulars for the heels, toes, and cuffs is now my usual method for knitting these socks, especially for others. I am hosting this in my purple sock bag by Slip Stitch Studios. This actually has, oh, it's so cute. It's got birds on it. It's super adorable. Oh, I love it. And it's kind of apropos because my recipient really likes birds. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to works in progress. So there were a few things that got a little bit of love this week. The first one is what I am calling Tried and True. This is the Trillion pattern by Martina Bim. I am using a skein of Woolmey's Pure in the Zabra und Rossi colorway. Oh, so adorable. I love this colorway. I have been using a size US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter Knitter's Pride Dreams. It's a 47-inch circular needles. Oh, I love these needles, you guys. I don't know why I ever put this project aside for months. But yeah, I decided that I needed to work on it again. So you know this is actually in my Jack Skellington bag by Molly Klein Designs. Oh, guys, I'm telling you, I do not know why I put this one aside. I don't. Anyway, the next thing that did get quite a bit of love over a 3-day period was what I called Simply Aware. This pattern is the Lala Simple Shawl by Laura Lenneman. Okay, so for this project, I am using a few skeins of Premier Yarns Cotton Fair in the Cotton Candy colorway, the Bright Peach, and the Baby Pink colorways. Oh, absolutely love this. I've decided I am going to do rotations, get 3 rotations of each pattern in each colorway before the bind off. I'm crossing my fingers I have enough yarn. I did finish the Cotton Candy colorway this week, so yay! This is actually on a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needles. They are on my Chai Gu needles on the 60-inch cable length. I did have to upgrade this week to a longer cable length. And this is actually being housed in my Stars Hollow bag. Sorry guys, allergy season, it does that to you. Let me take a quick drink. So the next thing that I did finish was what I am calling Scraptastic DVD. This is the 10-stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. I am using the Loopy U Solid Series Bisque, and I'm using this colorway just to accent the rest of the numerous Desert Vista Direct or DVD scraps that I'm going to be putting in there. This week I did finish up the Winnie the Pooh, and I moved on to the colorway Pumpkin Pie. In the picture, you'll notice I maybe did 3 rows into the new color, so I'm going to be on this color for a while. Anyway, I am using a size US 5, which is a 3.5 millimeter. I'm using a pair of Carbon's DPNs, mostly because it's small enough and I can do so right now. Eventually, I will have to upgrade to the larger straight needles that I have. As of right now, since it is small enough, I am hosting this in my coffee-themed bag by Molly Klein Designs. And the last thing that got a little bit of love this week was what I am calling simply, it's pumpkin season all the time. Now, just to remind you, this is the harvest pattern by Tin Can Knits that I have been working on for a while. I managed to get to the first decrease round on the second sleeve. So, yay. Um, and just as a gentle reminder, I'm using Barocco Vintage GK in the pumpkin colorway. Oh, I love this color, guys. I am not really a fan of wearing brown, but it's not really brown. It's awesome. I love it. Oh. Anyway, I digress. I have been using a size 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, and as well as a US 8, which is a 5.0 millimeter needle. Been using anything from the 32-inch cable marbles down to a 16-inch cable marbles on the sleeves, as well as corresponding DPNs. So I've been a bit busy with those needle sets. Anyway, this is actually now being housed completely in the purple TARDIS bag by Slip Stitch Studios. Radio Gaga. This is basically where I go through and let you know what I've been listening to. And I've been listening to quite a bit. And not even not even just podcasts that I've been listening to. I've also been listening to, I guess, proper music over the past week. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But anyway, I have been listening to the Silvers Being Random Spotify playlist that I created, as well as a 90s playlist. They're on Spotify as well. And there was also another playlist that got a lot of love this week, was the Wine and Crime and Tasty Jam Spotify playlist. I'll be linking all three of those in the podcast notes, so that way you guys can find them as well. Just be aware, a lot of those are very, very random, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Silver's book pile. Amongst all of the other stuff that I managed to finish this week, I did finish 2 books. The first one being Sampled and Seduced by Shelley Monroe. The second was a very short book called Claimed by the Captain by Verity Vixen. That was a 1-star on Goodreads, I'm going to tell you. For me, not impressed. The first one, I was even less impressed with. Like, I want the hour and a half of time that I spent on that back. That should tell you. Anyway, it's nothing to say against the author. It's more like both of those were collections or starts to series, and I didn't like it enough to move on to the next book in the series. I don't know. I can't explain it. Anyway, what has also gotten a little bit of love reading wise this week has been Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I really, really love this book. I've gotten to the point now where the war is over. Yes, so I've got quite a bit to go. So the other thing that I'm actually reading is Romance Down Under by Tracy Alvarez. It's a pretty good book so far. There's multiple books in one, so yay. That keeps me busy for a while. Silver and the Case of the Screen Time. I have been doing a lot of watching of things, mostly to keep myself busy while I've been knitting a lot and getting rid of, cleaning up and stuff. I actually have been watching a lot of classic Doctor Who. I am actually currently to the last story of the second Doctor right now, on BritBox. So I'm going to tell you right now, BritBox is kind of like a YouTube subscription or a Netflix subscription, but for BBC shows. If you are into any type of BBC show, you will find it there. And I mean just about anything. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, I digress. I did also manage to watch a lot of Stargate SG-1 this week. I am now to the end of season 3. I actually just literally finished that episode before going to bed last night. I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love the character Teal'c. He is my favorite character, and honestly, he's got this eyebrow raise that he does because he's so stony otherwise. He's got this eyebrow raise that he does. He just says, "Indeed," at random times. And these times just tend to be where we just need comedic relief from all the action and this and this other thing. But also it's hysterical. I also got to the episode this week where they talk about neutrinos passing through everything, and Jack says simply, "Didn't you hear? Didn't you listen? These Nintendos can go through everything," which just happens to be one of mine and MDI's favorite line in that whole episode. I'm gonna actually put a video, gonna link the video directly in the podcast notes, so if you want to see it for yourself, it's perfect. I am definitely rambling. I did watch a fair bit of podcasts this week as well. I did watch the Mad Fuzzy episode, the Stockinit Zombies episode they put up recently, as well as the Geeky Girls Knit podcast and the Grocery Girls. I found two different podcasts recently. The first one is the Knit Three Together podcast. Love these three ladies. They're actually triplets out of England. Ugh, I love their accents, number one, but they do tend to talk about all the things that they're working on knitting wise, where festivals that they've gone to, as well as their issues and their struggles with mental health, which sometimes you just need to know that you're not the only one going through things, right? The second podcast I found this week was Whips and Wine, which is also new to me. Oh my goodness, these ladies are awesome. They are out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I love them. They discuss their wine choices and what they are working on whip-wise. I'm going to tell you, some of the wines, most of the wines that they have either chosen or been chosen for them, not their cup of tea, so to speak. And they're you can definitely tell because their face gives away a lot. I did also watch a bunch of YouTube as well this week. Yes, a lot of electronic babysitter mode this week. I don't know why. I did watch a lot of videos on YouTube. More specifically, this is one that was more recently in my mind that I thought was hysterical. Especially if you are a Doctor Who fan, you will get all of the references. This was the Catherine Tate and David Tennant comic relief episodes sort of thing that they did back in 2007. Absolutely hysterical. I'm going to link the YouTube video directly in the show notes so that way you can see it as well. They basically they act kind of how they are in Doctor Who in those episodes. So X's and O's. Now, normally this section is just for things that I've worked on this week that aren't just knitting or crochet related. However, this week it will also serve as my favorite things section. Since no yarn or packages have arrived this week, there's actually one package that I have coming from Canada that's basically taking its sweet time. It's been in transit since the 31st. Yes. Basically, it was a birthday present that I ordered for myself, as you do. I don't really have any plans to order any more yarn or anything like that until I am actually in the SSK market. If you don't know, SSK does stand for Super Summer Knit Together. It's a knitting retreat that the Knit Girls put on every year in July. Oh, I cannot wait to go, you guys. Alright, so what else is in this section? Well, I got it through my head this week that I was going to work on one of my longest works in progress this week. The book series that I've been writing since at least 2011 and got quite a bit of love this week. I actually ended up finishing 4 full chapters, you guys, this week. Actually, most of it was written over a very sleepless night, as in I didn't go to sleep that night. And honestly, I didn't want to stop writing once I started because it had been about 4 months since I even had worked on it. So, yay. I've also been doing a fair bit of spring cleaning upstairs in our media room. The media room is essentially a second bedroom that both MTI and I have converted into my yarn/craft room, as well as MTI's video game /streaming room. Basically anywhere, like anything else that we have up there. I have actually been meaning to organize up there for quite a bit. So I have been doing that a lot this week. And, moving around my stash a bit and trying to figure out how it works better for me so that way I can get to the pretties that much faster. Um, it's also, I've been trying to find a better way of storing my UFOs or unfinished objects and other projects that I am not currently or actively working on. I'll have to show you pictures of what progress I've made, and I'll even put them at the end of the show, so that way if you're interested you can always just go see how my mind organizes everything. It's been a long process, let me tell you. All right, the end of the road. I am pretty social. You can find me on our Revelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am Silver Luna 2112 there on Ravelry. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am both Silver's Treats and Silver's Dreamland. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silverstreamland@gmail.com. As always, anything that I talk about can be found in the show notes at silverstreamlandpodcast.com. Alrighty, so I have actually rambled for as long as I possibly can. It's going to be a shorter show today, so yeah. I know your time is valuable, so please feel free to join in any discussion or start your own on the Silver's Dreamland Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. Please stay tuned for episode 50 on the 20th. Until next time, happy crafting!